Okay, I need to show you something really quickly. These tomato seedlings, I started these just 10 days ago. 10 days, and they are already doing this. Now, at this exact same moment, someone in Canada is sitting inside staring at a snowstorm outside their window. Someone in the north of the USA still has frost on their ground, and they're all waiting for spring, waiting for the right time. But here's what nobody tells you. March is not the time to wait. March is the time to win your entire growing season. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why and exactly what you should be doing this week, no matter where in the world you're watching from. Welcome back to The Garden Sage. And if you're new here, honestly, really glad you're here. This channel is for people who actually want to grow things. Not perfectly, not with a fancy setup, just real gardening, real results, real talk. And in all that time, I have made a lot of mistakes. I've started too late, planted the wrong things, lost entire crops. But you know what I learned from all of that? The gardeners who have the best summers, the ones with overflowing harvests, beautiful flowers, full raised beds, they all have one thing in common. They took March seriously. So today, that's exactly what we're talking about. I'm going to walk you through what March looks like for gardeners across the world, what I am personally planting right now, and the exact steps you need to take this week to set yourself up for the best growing season you've ever had. Let's go. Okay, so first, I want to paint a picture for you because I think this is something really special about being a gardener in March. Right now, in this one single month, the world is in 4 completely different seasons, all at the same time. Think about that. In Canada, and I'm talking places like Ontario, Alberta, Manitoba, there is still snow on the ground. Actual snow. Their last frost date is still 6, sometimes 8 weeks away. And these poor gardeners, and I say that with love, are sitting inside, seed catalogs in hand, just dreaming. Then in the northern United States, places like Minnesota, Michigan, even parts of New York, same situation. Cold, frosty, still very much winter. But here's the interesting thing. The smart gardeners there, they're not just sitting, they are starting. They are starting seeds indoors right now because they know, and this is crucial, they know that what you do inside in March becomes what you harvest outside in July. Now move across to the UK. And oh, the UK in March, it's this beautiful, moody, unpredictable thing. One day it's 14 degrees and feels like spring is here. Next day, wind, rain, gray sky, the whole thing. Very on brand for British weather, honestly. But underneath all of that chaos, the soil is waking up. Seeds can go in, and the gardeners who brave those cold mornings are always the ones with the best gardens come May. And then we get to Australia, and this is where it gets really interesting because while everyone else is thinking spring, Australia is going the opposite direction. They're moving into autumn, and most people think autumn means gardening slows down, but that is so wrong. In Australia, March is actually one of the most productive planting months of the entire year. The brutal summer heat is finally fading, the soil is still beautifully warm, and the range of things you can grow right now is honestly incredible. So wherever you are, March has something specific and something powerful for you, and that's what makes this month unlike any other in the gardening calendar. And coming up, I'm going to show you one mistake that almost every beginner makes in March, a mistake that costs them their entire summer harvest. Stick with me. Okay, so let me show you what is actually happening in my garden right now, because I think watching someone actually do this is 1,000 times more useful than just a list on a screen. First, tomatoes. I started these 10 days ago. I used a basic seed tray, ordinary seed compost, and I put them on a heat mat on my windowsill. And look, they are already up. These are going to be ready to harden off and go outside when my last frost date passes. Timing is everything with tomatoes, and getting them started in March means I'm not scrambling in May. Now, the variety I'm growing here is variety name, and I'll put the full list of what I'm growing this year in the description below for you. Next, peppers. And I want to spend a second on peppers because people consistently underestimate how long peppers take. They are slow. They are the slow friends of the vegetable world. They need warmth, they need time, and if you start them too late, you'll get plants that are beautiful but produce almost nothing before the cold comes back. Start them now, seriously, this week if you can. Outside, I've just direct sown peas right into the ground. Peas are one of those plants that actually prefer cool soil. They don't like being too warm when they germinate. So sowing them in March, even if it feels early, actually gives you a head start. They'll establish strong roots before the warmth hits, and the harvest you get from March sown peas is always better than one sown in May. I've tested this myself many years. I've also got spinach going in this container here, and this is one of my favorite March things. Spinach in a pot right by the back door. It's so fast, so satisfying. In about 4 to 5 weeks, I'll be walking out in the morning and cutting fresh leaves for breakfast. That simple thing, growing your own food, never loses its magic. Never. And the last thing I want to show you, lettuce. Cut and come again lettuce sown in a trough, again right near the kitchen. And the reason I keep things near the kitchen is because if it's convenient, you actually use it. It sounds obvious, but it genuinely changes how much you get out of your garden. Now, I promised you I'd tell you the mistake that ruins most people's summer. We're getting to that right now. And honestly, when I say it out loud, it seems so simple, but almost everyone does it. Keep watching. Okay, the mistake. It's this: waiting for perfect conditions before you start. That's it. That's the whole thing. I know it sounds almost too simple, but let me explain why it destroys people's seasons. Every year, and I've seen this so many times, someone says, I'll start my seeds when it gets a bit warmer, or I'll wait until after the last frost to think about planting. And then May arrives and they're starting tomatoes in May. And by the time those tomatoes are ready to go outside, it's June. And by the time they actually produce fruit, it's late August. And in another few weeks, the season is over. They got maybe 4 weeks of harvest when they could have had 4 months. Meanwhile, the person who started in March, who didn't wait for perfect, who just grabbed a tray and some seeds and said, let's go, they've been eating homegrown tomatoes since July. They've had fresh peas, fresh lettuce, fresh everything. The garden doesn't reward perfection, it rewards action. And March, cold, unpredictable, not quite spring March, is exactly when that action needs to happen. So whatever excuse has been in your head, I don't have a greenhouse, I don't have the right equipment, I don't have enough space, I want you to set that aside, because none of that matters as much as just starting. A windowsill, a seed tray, a bag of compost, that is genuinely all you need.
All right, so let's make this really practical, because I don't want you to finish this video feeling inspired and then not knowing what to actually do. So let me give you a simple, clear action plan based on where you are in the world. And if you want to save this, honestly, just screenshot the next section or bookmark this video. You'll want to come back to it. If you are in the USA right now, this week, start tomatoes and peppers indoors if you haven't. Get a basic heat mat if you can, they make a huge difference. And sow peas and spinach outside if your ground isn't frozen. And check your last frost date. Knowing that date is honestly one of the most important things you can do as a gardener. I'll link a frost date tool in the description. If you are in Canada, your window is tight and your season is short, which means you cannot afford to wait. Start your tomatoes, peppers, and anything slow growing right now indoors. Get your grow lights set up if you have them, and if you don't have grow lights, a south-facing windowsill works. It's not perfect, but it works. Done is better than perfect, always. If you are in the UK, this week get broad beans and peas outside. They are tough, they can handle the cold, and early sown legumes just perform better. Get tomatoes started on a warm windowsill indoors, and if you're growing potatoes this year, are they chitting? They should be chitting right now. Set them out in egg boxes in a cool, bright room and let them develop those little shoots before they go in the ground in a few weeks. And if you are in Australia, oh my goodness, get outside right now, today. Your autumn soil is absolutely perfect, still warm from summer, just starting to cool down. Broccoli, cauliflower, peas, silver beet, carrots, beetroot, all of these can go in right now and they will absolutely thrive. Also, and this one is really special, sow sweet peas this month. They're a bit of a March tradition in Australian gardens, and the blooms you'll get in spring are just stunning. Before I wrap up, I want to share one more thing. One small personal thing that reminded me recently exactly why we do all of this. And it's coming up right now. You know what I've realized after all these years of gardening? It's never really about the vegetables. I mean, yes, fresh tomatoes from your own garden taste better than anything you'll ever buy in a supermarket. That's just a fact. But that's not why people garden. People garden because of the feeling. That feeling of putting something in the ground, watching it grow, caring for it, going outside in the morning and seeing something that wasn't bare yesterday. That tiny green shoot pushing up through dark soil. It's one of the most grounding, pun intended, things a human being can do. In a world that moves really fast, gardening makes you slow down. It makes you pay attention to small things. It connects you to seasons, to weather, to soil, to the actual physical world. In March, this messy, unpredictable, not quite spring month, March is when that whole thing starts again. It's like a reset, a new chapter. And I just think that's really worth showing up for. All right, that is everything I wanted to share with you today. And if you made it to the end of this video, genuinely thank you. It means a lot, and it tells me you're someone who actually cares about their garden, which I love. If this video helped you, if it gave you even a small push to go do something in your garden this week, please hit the like button. It takes 2 seconds, and it helps this channel reach more gardeners just like you. Subscribe to The Garden Sage if you haven't already. I post every single week, and every video is packed with real, practical gardening advice. No fluff, no filler, just good content. And the most important thing, drop a comment below and tell me, where in the world are you watching from, and what is one thing you're going to plant this March? I read every single comment, every one, and I would genuinely love to know where you all are and what you're growing. Now, go get your hands dirty. Your March garden is waiting. I'll see you in the next one.